Our information, more than 90% Tibetan very unhappy. And actually, you see, they are facing, usually, sometimes I describe, almost like, you see, Tibetan nation, the ancient nation with unique cultural heritage, now passing through something like death sentence. So Tibetan people, I think generally, I think quite proud people. So when the Chinese say, oh, they came to help us, then sometimes you see, we feel we have no need help. You see, 1,000 years we manage ourselves.
let me read to you something that Wenjia Bao said to me in a conversation we had.
Yes.
I asked him about I said the Dalai Lama has said he would accept China's rule in Tibet. He accepts the socialist system. What he asks for is cultural autonomy and a certain degree of political autonomy. He says, many people in the United States have no idea how big is the so-called Greater Tibetan region that the Dalai Lama wants. The Greater Tibetan region covers Tibet, Sichuan, Yunnan, Qinghai, and Gansu, altogether 5 provinces, and the area by this so-called Greater Tibetan region is a quarter of China's territory. Is that your definition of Tibet?
Yes, my definition Tibet is those people who speak Tibetan, who practice Tibetan culture, Buddhist culture. That's Tibetan. So, in order to carry the meaningful preservation of Tibetan culture, Tibetan Buddhism, all these Tibetan, including my own birthplace area, the Tibetan, we must work together.
But does it comprise these 5 areas?
No, they part of Qinghai, part of Gansu, part of the Yunnan, Sichuan, only part where Tibetan is ethnics there. So there, I think some among the Chinese leadership also, I think some confusion.
You've spoken in a tone of almost despair about the state of Tibet and its people. Do you have much hope that there will be progress toward resolving this issue?
Now, when we look Tibet issue locally, then hopeless. If you look Tibetan issue from wider perspective, I feel much hope, because China is changing. And more Chinese intellectuals now come to support about our struggle. And also the free world, particularly in Europe and North America, I think many people really showing genuine concern. And as a reflection of the public media, very supportive, and various countries, parliament, there's strong voice concern about Tibet. And then government level also, particularly like United States, is showing genuine concern, and India also. And then other hand, you see Tibetan spirit inside Tibet. Oh, wonderful, very strong. Unless you see Tibetan become insignificant minority in our own land, then very difficult. I think some hardliner Chinese, you see, want to do that. That's almost like cleansing.
To flood Tibet with Han Chinese,
yes,
so that the Tibetans become a minority.
That's right. Like Inner Mongolia, same autonomous region, same status of autonomous region.
So this doesn't sound very hopeful.
But I don't think world let that happen. And also the Chinese now, unlike 50s and 60s and 70s, now today, world with modern sort of also facility, the information, I don't think that easily can done.
It sounds as though you would find it difficult to exist under a socialist system. I mean, you're quite critical of what you've just called a
social system.
Yeah, you've called it a totalitarian state. You've called it,
social system. I myself, no question, I'm socialist. Even more, I often, telling people in big gathering, my public talk, as far as socio-economy theory is concerned, I'm Marxist. Still, I'm Marxist.
But you're not. You don't believe in
not a totalitarian.
A one-party state.
One party. I think a party with full democratic sort of principle, then even a one-party system, okay. But one party, always hypocritical way, telling something, doing something. Now, recent sort of months now, over 1 year, how much sort of information come from Chinese media? So many people laughing.
Do you worry that after you, there will be a greater demand for independence and violence? In other words, that you have been the moderating force and that the Tibetan community may go in a different direction?
No, I have no worry. This is Tibetan issue, Tibetan people's issue, Tibetan nation's issue. So up to them. I'm just serving or carrying sort of their wish. So should Chinese policy inside Tibet continue, then eventually I have to ask people what to do. The Tibetan people is my boss.
How will your successor be chosen? Because the Chinese government, as you know, claims that they have the right.
Yes.
There have been some reports that you may try to preempt the situation by actually initiating the process yourself.
I made very clear, because of reincarnation, the purpose of reincarnation is to carry the task which started by previous life. So logically, in case I die outside, my sort of some work is not yet sort of accomplished. So my reincarnation logically appear in outside, in free world. That's clear.
But you think the next Dalai Lama must appear in the free world?
Yes, I feel. Why not? Look, very purpose of the reincarnation, not disturb for previous life's work, must follow the previous life's sort of work, logically.
Sir, thank you very much. You've been very kind with your time.
Thank you.